In this tutorial, we'll show how used vehicle dealers file a sales and use tax return with multiple locations. We protect all the confidential information that you provide to us. First, go to the website cdtfa.ca.gov and at the top, click on Login. That will take you to the Online Services Login page. Please log in with a username and password. For assistance with creating a username and password, please watch our tutorials online. On the CDTFA Online Services Login page, enter your username and password, then click Login. On the Online Services Profile page, under the Accounts tab, we will click on the Sales and Use Tax hyperlink. This will take us to the Sales and Use Tax Account page. Under the Periods tab, select the period end date for which you are filing. For this example, we will file the return for the period ending December 31, 2024, which is due January 31, 2025. For more information on due dates, visit our Filing Dates for Sales and Use Tax Returns page on our website. Click on File Return. On the Business Activities page, if you have never filed a return, you will be prompted to answer questions related to your type of business activities. After you have made your selections, you will not see this page again. In our example, our business did not conduct any of the business activities listed, nor did we sell motor vehicle fuel, so we will answer no to both questions. And click Next to proceed. On the Sales and Purchase Information page, enter your total sales. For filing periods beginning July 2025 and after, used vehicle dealers should exclude sales reported to the Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, from total sales. Charges related to your vehicle sales that are not reported to DMV should be included in total sales. For example, include charges such as document fees, smog certification fees, mandatory warranties, among others. If your total sales include sales taxes you have collected, you may enter them as a deduction on the non-taxable sales deductions page later in the filing process. If you need help with this return, click on the link Online Filing Instructions located here. In this example, we will enter $150,000 in total sales, which includes sales tax collected. If you choose, you can save your work at any time so you can come back to it at a later date by clicking the Save Draft button. Enter your password, then click OK. You will then be directed to a confirmation page. Now that you've saved your draft, let's go back to filing your return. Click the Continue Editing button. Now we are back to your return. Click Next. You will see the Sales at State-Designated Fairgrounds page. If you are a retailer who makes sales of tangible personal property on a state-designated fairground, you must enter the total amount of your sales here. For more information, a complete listing of state-designated fairs is available on our website. For this example, we did not make any sales at state-designated fairgrounds. Click Next to continue. The non-taxable sales deduction page includes the most common deductions. In our example, our total sales of $150,000 included $12,380 in sales tax. We will enter that amount in the box Sales Tax, if any, included in total sales reported. If your deduction is not listed, click on the empty box below Other Non-Taxable Sales for a list of other available deductions. If you have any adjustments, credits, and/or partial exemptions, select Yes to expand the field. In our example, we do not have any adjustments, credits, and/or partial exemptions. We will proceed by clicking Next. Schedule C applies to sales and purchases made at registered business locations. On the Schedule C page, the system will pre-populate your registered business locations. Allocate your total taxable transactions made at each registered location. In this example, we are going to allocate $7,000 to our Sacramento location and $130,000 to our Stockton location. Next, we have $620 remaining that will need to be allocated. Click Next to continue. You will only see this page if you did not fully allocate your total taxable transactions on Schedule C. On this page, click Yes if any of these business activity questions apply to your business to allocate the remaining $620. Otherwise, click the Previous button to fully allocate the remaining amount to your taxable transaction on Schedule C. In this example, we are going to select Yes, then click Next to continue. On the Schedule B Local Tax Allocation page, you will be able to report local tax for sales or purchases not made at a registered business location. Other transaction types may also apply, such as construction contracts or leases. In this example, we made sales in Alameda County. We'll add Alameda County by clicking the empty box below county in which taxable transaction occurred. Next, we will enter the amount of taxable transactions made in that county. Remember, your total taxable transactions must be fully allocated on the local tax schedules to continue. Remember, you can save your work at any time by clicking the Save Draft button. We will proceed by clicking Next. Here is where we enter district taxes. First, you need to answer if you made any sales transactions subject to only 7.25% sales tax. In our example, we will select No. The box that says Taxable amount to be reported below represents the amount that must be allocated to one or more districts. In this example, our 2 registered locations were pre-populated based on the registered locations of the business. We then need to allocate our taxable transactions made in those locations. $130,000 in Stockton and $7,000 in Sacramento. Then, we will add our non-fixed location by clicking on the next line in the blank box under County, and add the appropriate taxable transaction amounts for that county as well. You may start typing the county name or scroll and select from the list. You may also type or scroll in the box under City. Alameda, $620. To delete a district tax, click on the red X. Keep in mind, the taxable amount to be reported below box must be fully reported in order to proceed. In our example, the $137,620 is fully allocated in the district tax schedule. The amounts match, and we will continue. Click Next. On the Tax Prepayments page, if you are on a quarterly prepayment filing schedule, you will see your prepayments here. You will only see this page if you are on a prepayment reporting basis. If you have made a prepayment and it isn't showing here, you can enter it now. If you have not made a prepayment, you will be presented with the Tax Prepayment Verification page, which will ask you to confirm that. Click Next. In our example, we did not have any taxable transactions during either of the prepayment time periods, so we will select No. Then click Next. Again, you will only see this page if you are on a prepayment reporting basis. If you collected excess tax from your customer, please enter it here. Remember, you can save your work at any time by clicking the Save Draft button. Let's continue. Review your summary page. If you need to make adjustments, click Previous. To print a draft of your return prior to submission, click on the Save Draft button below. If the information displayed on the page is correct, click Next. On the Your Information page, enter the required information. Then indicate if you are a paid preparer for this business. In this example, we will click No. Click Submit. When you click Submit, a window will appear to confirm your intent to file electronically and that your return is true, correct, and complete. Please read the information carefully. Enter your password and click OK to submit. This will serve as your authorization, and you will receive a confirmation email. This confirmation page represents your return filing only. To make an electronic payment, click on the Make a Payment button. To print your submitted return, click on the Print Return button. If you still have questions, please call our Customer Service Center at 1-800-400-7115, TTY 711.